the town known as the cradle of the rebellion. The PDP could decide that they're going to take the sports club ground from you all. They're going to change the name of the venue without membership involvement, without community involvement. Again, as simple as you see it, the PBB wants to show you all we could stand in your face. Although this place is legally called the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, we can call it what we want. Now remember, this is supposed to be managed by the Ministry of Culture. Now listen, let me just give a issue statement here. If you're not capable, if you are incapable of reasoning, this is the wrong broadcast for you. Today, this morning is about people who can reason and understand things for what they really are. If you are shallow, I am not speaking to you. I don't normally do this, but I may likely block you this morning because I'm not in the mood for stupid people. People must learn. You must be informed and be able to process. I'm saying to you something that's very critical here. The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports will be responsible for such an event, the planning thereof. And the culture of Linden, the culture of a place, must be taken into account if you have a plan to host an activity in that community. What is the culture of Linden? Culture comes from a people. Who are the main people of Linden? African descendants, Hebrew people. What is our culture? We are community-minded. We are closely knit in reference to how we function. Linden, they call it the mining town. You mind everybody's business, as we normally say about Linden. So why do you think that in the culture of a community, you show this community, listen, Indian people will decide what your name is, what we'll call the sports club. It's no longer called Mackenzie Sports Club. We will call it Mackenzie Stadium. And hush, take what we say. You all see the point yet? Because you are seeking to establish another culture for African descendants. And that culture for the Hebrew people is whatever we tell you is what you accept. You have no say in what it looks like. No, you have no say in what it's called. I hope that Sharma Solomon, I hope that Duran Adams, I hope Bobby Norton, I hope Amanda Desir, and I hope all of y'all who call Africans are paying attention to me here. In your faces, you're being told, we will take this sports club from y'all. Figure, I hope you're watching too, and serious. And there's no personal beef with me and anyone of y'all. Let's just say this as it needs to be said. We are not just going to, I'm talking the PP language here. We're not going to take the sports club from y'all alone. We're going to now give it a name that you have to accept. It's going to be called Mackenzie Stadium, and you can do nothing about it. What would be most interesting to me is to hear Figueroa, Sears, Norton, Desir, Sharma Solomon, Duran Adams, and others begin to say they host an event in Mackenzie Stadium. You know why you'll say it? Because you refer to Jack Gill as a vice president. That stupid, idiot, moronic crap of a position. There's nothing called vice president in our constitution. So for any normal thinking person like Norton, well, he doesn't think normally. But for Norton to suggest that he could just disregard the constitution and call Jagdeo the vice president, it is very stupid. So Jagdeo could say, listen, I'm vice president, call me vice president, Mr. Vice President. He's Bharat Jagdeo. Minister of something he has to be. If he's minister of nothing, he's nothing. That's why Jagdeo could tell you all that the parliament is a waste of time. That's why he could do that. That's why he could stay away from it and call you a pack of jokers. And he has a right to do so because you have him missing parliament and coming there in the capacity of some vice president. What is his portfolio? There's nothing in our constitution called a vice president in reference to an individual office that stands out like the USA. The USA has a president and a vice president. This creature wants Ali to be called president and he wants to be called vice president. Then look at what you all have. Irfan Ali, what's his name? Mark Phillips, who is Guyana's, according to the constitution, Guyana's first vice president is the prime minister. According to Guyana's constitution, the constitution states that you have got the president, the executive president, then beside that person, immediately after that person, is the prime minister, Who is called the first vice president? Who is the first vice president? You get the point yet? You've got the president, executive president, then immediately beneath him in hierarchy is the prime minister, who is the first vice president. There is nothing called a vice president. They're numbers. It's numeric in nature. There's first vice president, second vice president, third vice president, fourth vice, and I think we have scope for 5. It is ordered by number. Jagdeo, being an intellectual midget, an intellectual failure, he just once appeared to be smart, which is why he has to be so vindictive, because he cannot be dominant with intelligence. So he has to be dominant by force or something else. The law has got numbers attached to vice presidents of this country. First vice president is the prime minister. You have a second vice president, a third, fourth, and maybe a fifth. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Constitution has room for 5. Which number is Jagdeo? Because he cannot be first. Jagdeo cannot be first. Jagdeo cannot be the first vice president of this country, because there's nothing called the vice president in our Constitution. I hope you get the point. There's a number attached to the vice presidency. So there's a prime minister who is the first vice president. Norton is going to look at Jagdeo and call Jagdeo the vice president. Now, if you see, all the people just have an issue with Norton. If I could say this, I'm not a member of parliament. I'm not a prime minister. I'm not officially of the opposition. I am not anything in reference to leadership in this country, political leadership. Now, how you could tell me that the man who's paid over $1 million per month, how can you tell me that this man, how can you tell me that this creature could know what I said to you? He's a political scientist and refers to Jagdeo, and he would refer to Jagdeo as the vice president. What does that tell you all about this country? Huh? Norton is complicit. Norton is 100% guilty of what we have to deal with in this country, and in Linden, in reference to this man I'm addressing this morning. The culture of your country is being changed from being an informed people, from being a literate people, to being people who just accept whatever dummies tell you, and whatever they say is what you accept. I hope you understand that. The culture of your country has changed from being the most literate people. If you didn't know that, you know it now. Guyana was among the top 2 nations in the whole world in reference to literacy. 98 or 99% literacy on the Fox burn. I want you to get me clearly today, because I'm in a mood that you want to mess with me this morning. This country was ranked among the top 2 or 3 nations in the whole world for literacy, meaning people know how to read, on the Fox burning. What's our rank now on the Jagdeo? And well, Irfan can't read himself. Irfan is semi-literate. Irfan Ali is semi-literate. Irfan can barely read. Irfan has to be coached into reading, and he has to read consistently anything that he has to repeat publicly. You cannot put any script in front of Irfan on the fly and let him read it. How can your country descend from being the second or third most literate, 98 or 99% of every 100 people in this country, 99 out of 100 people in Ghana knew how to read on the burner? That's a fact. Now you have a president who can barely read himself. And you're all here to tell me this morning, who would like to take the risk of telling me that I mustn't talk down against Norton? What am I supposed to do? Elevate Norton to what? To what? You must understand that I have a right to speak to good governance. You cannot have good governance with weak leadership. I need to repeat that. You cannot have good governance with weak leadership. For you to be governed well, you have to have strong leadership. Opposition, and administration. We speak into a nation that you are called independent. So let's have a conversation about independent thinkers. That's what I am. I am an independent thinker. The People's Movement has got people in it who are independent thinkers. If it's 2 of us alone, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of us, we are at least able to think for ourselves. That's what I promote. That is what I'm seeking to establish. That's what we're seeking to advance in Guyana. And as the People's Movement, we shall seek to represent, by your request, the people of this nation at the highest decision-making level, because we need it. I don't need to have people in Linden who are called members of parliament who are afraid to stand up and say, you are not coming to change the culture of our town. If I were the member of parliament, and if I were the mayor of Linden, there's no way that any rally, anything like that could be held in sports club. No. Listen to me. Listen to me. If I were that, you had to arrest me because you're not coming into sports club. You have no stage built in sports club, and I couldn't go to simply watch what the work was being done to my club that I'm being used to be a part of. And you could bring soldiers to march on the field and bring equipment in the ground and drive trucks inside there to set up equipment, but I couldn't walk to see what's happening in the ground. You would have nothing called independence celebration in there. Now, Norton is a Lindener. Amanza Walton Desir, though she was born in Berbice, she lived in Linden. I know her father. She went to Mackenzie High School with me. So she refers to herself to some extent as a Lindener. In that context, I speak. It's not about your place of birth, it's where you live and what you said your culture was formed from. Amanza said that she's from Linden. If you are from Linden or a Lindener by your schooling or your academic quests and the forming of your culture, then you're a Lindener. You lived in Retrieve. In that context, I speak. Norton from Wismar, born, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get this clear. Again, it comes to culture and strategy. My brothers and my sisters, my enemies and my friends, what are the chances that the PNC will be holding their Congress next month to elect a leader? This is where you have to hone in and pay attention. If the PNC, the People's National Congress, is going to host their Congress to elect a leader of the party in June, what are the chances that Aubrey Norton, who's from Wismar, Amanza Desir, who's from Retrieve, in reference to where she lived and went to school and everything else. She went to Mackenzie High School with me, although she's younger than I am. What are the chances that 2 of the faces on the slate for leading the PNC, Amanda Desir, Aubrey Norton, are from Linden? I think you'll see I'm going with this already. And a few days before their Congress, Jagdeo decides we're coming to where you are from and show you that we go into your town and do what we want. You could do nothing. I hope you'll get the point. So if Amanza becomes the leader of the PNC, she has a record before she's even elected as leader that you couldn't even stop the PPP in your own town. If Norton becomes the leader of the PNC, there's a record to show that you are now paid to be the official leader of the opposition, and you can't even stop the PPP in your own town. Now, Jagdeo has decided strategically that he's going to emasculate Aubrey Norton. And while your chickens hopping around the stupid place talking about me and how I should be celebrating Norton and supporting Norton. No, 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 no. Norton needs to understand and wake up to see what's happening to him. Sharma is the mayor. Sharma is Apnu AFC's representative. He's the mayor. Dominic Blair is the deputy mayor. Apnu AFC representative. He is the deputy mayor. Vanessa Kissoon, who's the face of the PNC in reference to Linden, is a councillor. Beth Yoon, well, I think he ran independently this year. Duran Adams, Apnu AFC selection, he is the Regional Democratic Council's chairman. He's the chairman. The most dominant, the most senior position in the region is Duran Adams, held by Duran Adams. Okay. Mark Goring. Goring is the vice chairman. Goring is the vice chairman. The vice chairman is AFC. All of the municipal and regional authoritative positions are held by PNC, Apnu AFC, or AFC. What are the chances then that Jagde will decide we go into Linden, the area that voted overwhelmingly for the coalition? We'll go into Linden and we show Norton that we can go into your town where you're from and we'll host an event in your face without having Duran and the region, Sharma and the councillors have oversight of the cleanup of the town of preparation. You're going to just be invited to come if we want you to come. And we'll invite Duran, not Goring. We'll not invite any other councillor, just one person, nobody else, because you have space for y'all. Do you see what these people have done to your community? Now, I would like to sit to think that today, Amanzil is here, and Aubrey Norton, along with Duran Adams, Devin Sears, and Jermaine Figueroa, would make a statement to the PPP, physical statement, not written statement. You'll make a physical statement to the PPP that you have gone one step too far in reference to disrespect. Not here. Clean the town up, but you won't be using Mackenzie Sports Club. So you form human chains and you block every gate and you say to them, you're not coming in here unless you arrest me or unless you kill me. Norton is an absolute chicken. Norton is a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Norton will never take the risk to stand in front of the Sports Club gate to be arrested. Never. Norton will do what he did. The people in Georgetown at the protest with vaccines say, I wasn't there. I was just standing at the Botanical Gardens gate and the police came and arrested me. That's what Norton did. Norton distanced himself from people who protested for their freedom to have the control of their own bodies. You tell me Norton could stand in front of the Sports Club gate today? If you do, Aubrey, I will be the first person. I will drive for hours because I'm out of town. I'll drive for as long as I have to drive to stand beside you. If you stand beside Sports Club gate today, just call me because you have my number. You call me. I'll be there beside you. Norton will not do it. Amanzo will not do it. As I said, you don't have to agree with what I've said, but you can't say anything different to what I've said. So here's my challenge to you before I proceed. I dare anyone who's in support of Norton or anyone of the people in PNC to tell me which one of them will stand in front of the Sports Club gate and block. I dare anyone you ought to name one PNC name who's a leader who would go in front of the Sports Club, because at this stage, if you're taking all of the cabinet members to Linden, then by right, the members of parliament from PNC should be in Linden too, but not in the ground, because this is a showdown here. This is where we have elected officials who are going to make a statement to say that the disrespect shown to Linden is not going to be shown anymore. And your most dominant support came from Linden. So I want you to show all of us in Guyana that the PNC has the power. Apnu FC has the power to go and stand in front of Sports Club and say you're not coming here in terms of their leadership. Let me make you uncomfortable. those who want to try to defend nonsense, let me make you very uncomfortable. Name 2, 3, 4, or 5 of the members of parliament from the opposition side who are going to stand in front of the school club. You're going to say, lock me up. You're not coming in here. Name 2, name 3, name 4 or 5. Now this really get uncomfortable because you don't like the truth. And this is where I identify how weak you are intellectually and in reference to your psyche. You're weak people, many of you, because who support the PNC, you are extremely weak because you're blind supporters who don't have power to think. You have to make a statement. Okay, so Jason Benjamin said Jermaine Figueroa, member of parliament, will go stand in front of the sports club, and if he's arrested, he's arrested. Let me see that, and if Figueroa does that, I will applaud him, hands down, hands up. If Figueroa, Jason Benjamin, if Figueroa stands in front of the sports club and says, you are not coming in here unless you lock me up, I'll applaud you with my hands up, him, and say, that's a boss. Now Figgy has my support. We have to be uncomfortable today to deal with this matter. No, we have to be. So let me just take something to respond to some people that I proceed. Martin McKenzie, bro, Guyana is a free place where anyone can go anywhere. No. No, no. No, Guyana is not a free place and anyone cannot go anywhere in Guyana. So just understand that. Otto, good morning, brother. What you have to have in this country is strength. Now watch what these people do. They wait for the likes of me to show up at sports club, to stand. Want you to get this. They wait for me to go stand. They may see Mr. Thomas, Apostle Thomas come and stand beside me. They'll watch. And if they see people beginning to gather and the numbers become large enough for there to be protection for them, then one day will pop up on the scene to join, not to initiate. And then they'll take it over to say, well, we stood there and we stopped the PVP from the, not this year. You're not getting me to do anything for you all this time because it is not happening ever. It has never happened. It would definitely not happen now. It is not going to happen now. You were elected to lead. You will lead. This is one time I'm going to show them what you all made of. No, you're not setting me up. You're not setting me up. I was never elected to lead anybody. I chose to stand for me and for my children and for my people. I stand for y'all. So you're not going to think that you have got the fortitude or any modicum of sense for me to go stand in front there. My brother, Pastor Thomas, will stand with me. I know he's not afraid of anybody. Because I tell you already, prison, jail, and lockup wasn't made for cat and dog. And the police know me. I don't have time to be afraid of any police. Police are people. The most there are people who are empowered with weapons to kill me. That's all. And if any black one or y'all, you and the Ghana police force want to come there because you'll be sent by Hicken, who's a puppet to the PPP. If you send there to arrest me, then do it. But I know y'all, and I know that you're going to test to see, okay, oh, the people are coming around to stand with London here. Oh wow, yeah, London is getting a lot of people. So you see 200 people show up now. Oh, good. All right, the crowd is built up. We have enough people now. So if the police come to do anything, they have to do to all 200 people. Then up comes Desir, or up comes Norton, or Figueroa, and they stand in front. They won't stand behind. They're going to go and stand in front of me and Mr. Thomas. And they will say, we the PPP, we the PNC, stood against the PPP. And they'll have the media operatives come there to interview them and say, well, Mr. Norton, Mr. Desir, Mr. Desir, what are your thoughts on this protest that you have initiated? What are the thoughts on the fact that you're able to stand against the PPP and the look of the police are fighting the PNC? I know y'all. It is not happening. This time you will show Linden that you prepare to stand for Linden, or you stand by and watch Linden be overtaken. I've made a decision as a man and as a leader. You either stand up or sit down, but you're not standing on the back of anybody. You're not having that bite that pass this time. We did it for you with the vaccine, and not reference to PNC. We did it in reference to you came. You didn't say go away from here. No. When we started standing, when I traveled to Georgetown and stood there on Odessa Primus, I would always thank Yahweh for that young lady. She came as an independent mind, and she came and stood with me. And people began to stand with us. Others began to stand with us. Suddenly, the PNC knows of a protest. We need to walk there, you need to go here, you need to go here. And you all began to say, okay, then this is your protest. No. No. Okay, so Jason is giving us a serious note. Let me see what Jason is saying. On a serious note, we need to unite and fight for the right things. Teachers must be paid a darn livable salary. Jason, we're united. Believe me, we're united. The issue people have with understanding unity is that unity doesn't mean that there can be disagreement. There cannot be disagreement. I can be united with you, but we can disagree on certain matters. I am not united with the PNC because the PNC is led by big people. No, this morning is a day because I'm so upset for me to just filter out of me what I need to get out here. I'm not going to be allowing myself to be set up, ever. We can be united, but we can disagree. I have an issue with there being leaders, please take note, who are paid hefty sums of money. When they sit on committees like Figuera is on the Public Accounts Committee, the PSC. Figuera is paid. When he leaves them to go to Georgetown, he gets an allowance. I don't get that. I have to buy fuel for my vehicle. He is given allowances to travel to represent the PSC or to have oversight of that committee. When they travel to Parliament, they get money for what they're doing. They are paid. Now, why can you not lead the protest? I call on Lindeners to go out and stand as independent thinkers. Don't stand as PNC. Do not stand as PPP. Stand as independent thinkers to understand what's happening in your community. This is not about them beautifying Linden. You need to understand what people do to you in reference to shoving into your mouth what they think. And you have to accept it. Let me take you further. When African descendants were brought to this country, when Hebrew people were brought here and made slaves, let me make it clear to some of y'all, when they brought to the Caribbean region, when they were taken to the USA, let me make it clear to you. Master, like he did to my father. I don't have grandfather. I have forefathers. You know what they did to him? At Rosignol, he was purchased. And at Rosignol, they said, your name is London. He didn't leave. He did not leave with the name London. He didn't leave Africa, Akabulan. He didn't leave that land in Ghana with the name London. He was brought here. And at Rosignol, a white man paid cash for him and said, your name is London. Hundreds of years later, when I looked at my family tree, guess what it started with? This man being purchased at Rosignol. And down the line, his descendants are called London. I hope you're getting the point. He was told what his name would be. Mackenzie Sports Club Ground, is called Mackenzie Sports Club Ground. The PPP decided it is called Mackenzie Stadium. And you would say, it's just a simple thing. It's not a big problem. It's not a big problem. But I just showed you that the one who has the power to name your entities and name your people is the one who is in absolute control of your people. If you cannot see this what it is, then you're too weak to see anything. And you're too weak to see even what you are. If you call it as Edgel did, Edgel sat at the radio station in Linden. Boy, you lucky, Edgel. Edgel sat, Jason wants to join me. Jason, if you want to join me, just indicate. If Edgel could sit, come into our town, sit at the radio station with, I think, with Gaspar, and Edgel can say it's called Mackenzie Stadium. Gaspar can say it's called Mackenzie Stadium. What does that tell you? When they are legal documents, you have bank records, you've got legal documents to indicate that this is where this would name the venue. Mackenzie Sports Club. Edgel says it's called Mackenzie Stadium. And Lindners will now say it's called Mackenzie Stadium. What does that tell you? So Jason is going to be added. I'm wondering if I'll be able to hear him, but we'll see. Your phone has to be in landscape. So I'll have Jason here for two or so minutes. Let's have a quick conversation. Because matters must be addressed. So while you're here, Lisa Prasad, a PPP trolling donkey has decided. So let me just speak to that. Lisa said, for your information. Now, that's why I tell you how stupid the PPP supporters are. And I will always call you stupid. I would never support anything called the PPP in this country, the way it is. Because it is fashioned for stupid people. Now, y'all see, I'll get upset again. But if my party, if I'm a part of a political group, and my group is led by somebody who's semi-literate, who could barely read, then I have to be stupid to support that. No, y'all can say what you want. There's no way that I will look to somebody who's called a leader, and he could hardly read. While I have a PhD, or I may have a master's of some sort. I may be maybe a businessman. I don't have a master's or whatever, but I have sense. How could I then look to somebody and say, you my leader, and you can hardly read? I have to call words for you. I have to help you to understand what words are. Cervical instead of cervical. Women don't have cervical cancer, they have cervical cancer. Irfan Ali is paid to be president, sat in front of a television screen and could not say cervical. This is no joke. As a president, he cannot say the word cervical. He said cervical. And you support that? So your children in school, no vowels, no consonants. They understand phonics. They understand how to part a word or divide a word into sections, as you call phonics, and then say the word. Irfan Ali sat in front of us. Irfan Ali mother is an English teacher. You need to give the government back our money, Irfan mother. You need to give us back our money because for years we paid you and you can't teach your own son. We want our money back. Because this boy's mother is an English teacher and he cannot say the word cervical, cervical. Don't talk about reparative. He went to the UN, sat there beside Jack Dew, his handler, his puppet master, and reparative justice. That dunce and you tell me I could support that, I have nothing personal against Irfan Ali. Please, you all need to know and understand how I think as an independent mind. But you're not going to be paid my taxpayers' money to sit in that office, earn $2 or $3 million a month, and you can't read. No, your mother needs to give us back her money because she is responsible for what you are. Now, Ejil is sitting in the seat of Minister of Public Works. Ejil. And one, you'll come, what's your name? Lisa Prasad, the troll. I don't know if you call me, wherever you are. Trolling Lisa, I dare you. I dare you to come and present some other thing for your information, FYI. Ejil is sitting in the seat of Minister of Public Works, and 100% of Ejil's qualification is in theology. Ejil has nothing in reference to even a science degree, an engineering degree, an engineering certificate, or engineering experience. That's what you have. And then the people must say, Ejil is Minister of Public Works. Which is why works are being done in Linden, for example. And Ejil can't see that if you dig drains all over the place, while you do not create the necessary camber on the roadways, like Sir David Rose Avenue, and we need to change the thing, but I don't know Sir David Rose anything. When you come around the Adventist church area, if you don't clear that road and create a camber to go down to the drain, you'll have water settling on the roadways and you still have a problem. So you're clearing the drains, but you're not preparing the way for the water to go into the trenches and the canals. Because you're Minister of Public Works, but you're a preacher by qualification. I'm not a preacher by qualification. I'm not qualified to do anything in reference to theology. But yet, I don't have human qualifications, but I'm qualified to know that my Messiah's name is Yeshua because Jesus cannot exist in Hebrew language. And it never existed. I'm qualified to have sense to know if somebody in the account of the Bible says, my name is Yeshua. It's written in Acts 26:14. Then I have to say what his name is. But the PPP is littered with dunces, thugs, and thieves. So they could come into Linden and say, this is what we're going to do. We call this place Mackenzie Sports Club. We're going to ensure that this Mackenzie Stadium, we're going to have a flag raising exercise here, and nobody could stop us. They are, if you don't know. If you didn't see the notice, let me take, because this must be far-reaching reference to, it may hit them to some of y'all. They're closing off major roadways in Linden. I want you to pay attention. Yesterday, I observed members of the Guyana Police Force. That name should change, but I'll call you what it is. Members of the Guyana Police Force, I observed, lifting barriers from Shanghai's place, putting it onto our police vehicles, because they all own it. It's owned by taxpayers. Members of the young men in my country, young African brothers. Your job is not to go lifting barrier from Shanghai House to put on police vehicle to move it. Look at what they have you doing. I observe they're lifting barriers from Shanghai's place, loading it onto the police truck, and moving it down the road. They're blocking off major streets around the town. And they issued a statement. Read it. That you're going to park your vehicle and walk to the Mackenzie Sports Club. Do you know what happened to Linden tonight? Huh? So in your town, And I said this before. How stupid could it be? You're going building this stadium, as you're going to call even call it the ICC Stadium, and the lackeys and cronies and Mackenzie's supposed to financial group. Here come Kashif son. You the liaison between the club membership and the contractor. You come. Yannick, you can't come and say anything on my page. You know better. I said, how does it make sense to you to do this here when you have all of the land, so much land, by what we call a Miller's Ward area. You have so much land by over the river. But you decide in the heart of a town to have this ICC standard stadium, International Cricket Council Stadium, as you call it, in the heart of a town where we already have issues with parking and we don't have an event yet. When we don't have an event. On an ordinary Friday, Linden, the avenue, you crawl. Sometimes you end up to a halt. We have a traffic issue in Linden. And I told you all, how does it make sense to you to put a stadium in the heart of a town? You are so daft. But they wouldn't do it. Because the Chinese money, the grant, had to be spent by this clan of thieves. So they had to find a Trinidadian, give the Trinidadian the man the money. You know how that was happening in reference to the arrangements. So they're shutting off major streets in London. If you have an emergency, you figure how you're going to get the ambulance to get to you. That's Linden's reality. When I said to them, do not do this. You should never have any such structure in the town. Leave sports club, develop it for people to go there and practice, hone their skills, make it a multi-purpose facility where young men can go, they learn swimming, everything else in the heart of the town. No major activity. When you have a major international activity or whatever you want to do, you take it to the new stadium they built in Bamia, in that area, or build a new stadium on the Mabura Road area where the Brazil Road to Brazil is being held. Nope. The crooks, the thieves, the thugs, the dunces don't want that. Because they'll come into your town, block up the road, and to hell with you. You figure out how you get around and they go back. That's our reality. Now, further, I say to you, when we were supposed to have sports, Johnny Gravesandi was put out of sports club for over 2 or 3 years. Don't come in here. You can't use it. Out. It will damage the field. Construction is being held. You have hundreds of military personnel and thousands of footmen, footers, standing all over the ground. They wouldn't damage the cricket field. But our school children can go in there to practice for national championships. I hope you'll get a picture. I asked them again, these sports club people to tell me the last day that a football player went in there to practice football, since it's supposed to be for the public. But you could carry soldiers in there. You could put a stage on the cricket field with tons of speakers in terms of weight. But children can't run on the field because you damage the field. And Lindeners do not see culture at play. The culture that's being created in your town is to show you that as long as we have control over how you process things, we have control over how you will see the processes in the future. As long as they have control over how you process things, then they have control over how you see processes in the future. And the processes are coming your way in 2025, before election, would be more handouts to their cronies to do works in your community. So they get the millions of dollars filtered to their pockets, and then they tell you, we're working for Linden, we're supporting Linden. You see the works you're doing in Linden, but you don't get it. You do not get anything from it. Then they're going to come into your town to tell you that you have no right to stand against leadership because we did too much for y'all. And if you only vote for the PNC, then they'll do nothing for you. And when they do that, the weak minds will say, but it's true, because the PNC never cleared this ground. But you haven't taken note of the fact that the council, because Dharamlal and I know this, issued an instruction they must not raise rates and taxes in Linden. We have so many new communities that are yet to be gazetted. And if you're not gazetted, then you don't have the right to pay any tax whatsoever. So what do we have in our country? What do we have in Linden? We have thousands of homes that are not gazetted. And the PPP did this on purpose. Because if you're not legally gazetted, then the council can't come after you for taxes. That's why you have so many streets in Linden. Let me come, sit in front of the class. You have so many streets in Linden with no name. Like in the Millers Ward, you can't name anything. You know how many streets in the ward you can name? How many streets in new housing schemes do you have a name? Can you tell me? Oh, I live by Figgy Corner. I live through by where Marlon is. If you go on the corner there, I'm just talking Guyanese vernacular. I try my best, man. Also, I can't speak like Guyanese too well. I live right down there, man. You know the green shop? You know the green shop there? Yeah, right by the green shop corner. When GT&T, when E-Networks, or any other service provider wants to find your house, you know Fatman there, and right through by Fatman corner there. You come by Fatman corner, then you go through around the next corner. They get big red truck on the corner. You know I don't speak like that because there are no names to the streets. Why? Because they're not gazetted. If they're not gazetted, then you cannot collect rates and taxes. If you don't collect rates and taxes, then the council suffers. Dharmlal was behind that. Granger came in and did nothing about it. So what do you do? There's what you call subventions. This is how local governments are controlled, because there's nothing called local government in Guyana. You starve them and say you can't collect people taxes. And then what you have is what you call subventions, where monies will have to come from out of the town called central government to be given to the council. Now, when you do that, what happens next is they control what you can spend, because they control how much you're given. So the council could not in any way do what you're seeing in Linden now, because they have no subvention. They could say we have a problem, we have a garbage problem, we have no garbage trucks, but they have no subvention. That's what has happened to Linden. The PPP single-handedly, and along with Granger, destroyed our community. The bread basket of this Caribbean was Linden, not of Guyana. That's why Linden has so many, we call islanders in it. Right. This one from St. Lucia, the one from Grenada, this one from Trinidad, the one from Barbados, because Linden, the bauxite company, was the bread basket of the whole Caribbean. And the PPP single-handedly destroyed it. And then after the single-handedness, Granger came and said, I'll couple with you all, and we'll help you destroy Linden too. That's your reality. So when people will sit, the younger ones, the younger bats will sit and say, oh, but PLC never did anything for the community. Stop. Y'all, and then let me talk to you. You are young and you can hate me, but you'll never be stupid at my expense. You are too young to be so daft. Read. Don't be like Irfan. Read. It is public knowledge that subventions have to be sent into townships and regional and democratic councils and neighborhood councils, because the PPP refuse to let taxes be collected. They did all of that road work you see around Sports Club. The government Mackenzie High School put tunnels in and so they could park and so on by way or black stink and that is being held. And the next thing is the Mackenzie Bridge, the middle section that causes a traffic backup all of the time. You know what I just said in radio yesterday? If you get caught in a bridge traffic, we go to Chester Boat Landing and cross, and you get free cross in Chester. Edgel is taking our taxpayers' money to say that anybody who's coming, as long as you go into the flag raising event, you can cross for free. So Chester would make millions of dollars tonight by people saying, yeah, I go in by the flag raising, and they cross for free. Then Chester would give a bill to the government, and Dwight John has to pay it. We have to pay. Taxpayers have to pay, because Adrian has said that you're crossing free accessible planning. Instead of using some of the money to run the plates longitudinally along the run of the bridge, so you're going to have to slow down at the middle section and take forever to cross, they left it exactly as it is. And Figgy lives over the river. Instead of Figgy saying that you're crossing this bridge tonight, as a member of parliament, I will stand and block this whole bridge here, because there'll be nothing crossing this bridge here unless y'all fix it. Figgy doesn't do that. Tonight, when you have all of the major players, as you want to call them, coming into the town, instead of Figgy saying, all right, then we park our cars on the highway, and everybody will have a mechanical problem. All the trucks and cars in Linden want to come, park on the highway. Head to my place, and everybody break down, take a key out and walk out your car because you got a problem. Figgy can't do that, because Figgy has to ensure that Ali is not displeased with him. And Figgy and I know why. I don't want no speech from y'all. Don't write no state, don't issue no public statement, write a letter to the editor. I'm not buying that from y'all. I am not buying this letter to the editor nonsense from y'all. Stand up or sit down. And when you sit down, then we step up and do what we have to do. Sit down. All y'all who want to be elected and voted in wherever it is, I give you a chance to stand now. Because if you don't stand up now, I will sit. I'll sit and watch you stand. Because you have to do what you have to do now. You can't hide behind no screen now. Don't hide behind no letter to the editor here. Stand up and show that you got chutzpah. You have chutzpah, according to the Russian. You have intestinal fortitude. Akani is all money. Okay, then Akani says all money being spent, but Akani, you know more than me. So he's spending all money to cross Chesapeake land. Boy, that's near. You guys big in your action, man. Figgy can't stand. Now let me say this, and some of y'all PNC supporters get mad at me, but get mad all you want. The images that are still littering our nation's memory of Irfan Ali rocking the vehicle. It's our vehicle, by the way. Karen Cummins was in by Pegasus area. Come out the vehicle. You're illegal. Come out the vehicle. They surrounded that vehicle and they were rocking it and say, come out here. A woman was in that vehicle, and Irfan Ali, in his usual thuggish manner, was telling Karen Cummins to come out of the vehicle when she was on her way to Pegasus. That's the PPP. Jagdeo at election said that if Granger is ever to be sworn in, he, not we, he, an individual, Jagdeo, said, I will make this country ungovernable. Granger didn't arrest him because that's a treasonous statement. He should have been arrested and tried for treason and put in jail. Granger didn't touch him. One person. Now we have one man named Aubrey Norton, who's saying he has to have the whole support of the whole world before he can have. And even when he gets it, he doesn't believe in protest. He believes in various forms of protest, like letter writing, like Figgy's protest. You write letters, and that's how you protest. At least it will be said that I said something. That's Figgy's strategy. At least I said something. I wrote a letter. And those who could read it read my letter that I said that I don't agree with this behavior in Linden. Really? In Japan, in Africa, in the Philippines especially, and those places, Malaysia, members of parliament just to throw a microphone at one another. They jump over the table and start punching and fighting in parliament, saying, that's how serious they were. They are. In certain territories in this world, people will climb tables and kick each other in the chest in the House of Assembly. Figgy writes a letter. Norton hosts a press conference. And Norton says he's strategizing. And I should sit here and say that Norton, being a Lindener, should be supported in doing what? I am leaving you today with a challenge. Lindeners, stand up independently what you believe in. Don't look to anybody to lead you. Stand up independently for what you believe in. If you believe that people could come and change the name of your mecca of sports and just leave you like that, I rest my case. If you believe the persons can deliberately boycott, whether you like them or not, they call leaders. If they can deliberately bypass leadership and protocol, and you support that, let me close by telling you this. The only individuals who support dishonesty are dishonest people. If you support bypassing protocols just to get what you want, you are fit for the PPP because you're dishonest. And you support underhandedness. May I inform you that I have absolutely no personal issue with Amanda Desir, with Bobby Norton, with Figuera, with Devin Sears. None. Devin and I see each other and say, what's up, man? Devin is different. Figgy stopped talk. Figgy stopped talk. But Devin and I, Devin is cool. Devin, I have no personal beef. Devin knows I express how I feel, and he has the right to do the same. But Figgy stopped talking to me. Figgy don't talk. Figgy's passing and he mad at the whole world. That's the kind of member of parliament we have, a stop talking member of parliament. And you want to lead people? I don't have any personal issue with you. Nothing. I could talk on the phone normally and I credit nothing with that. Nothing call me, say, Nigel, your father is this person. Yeah, that's my father. And we cool. Because I don't have an issue with any one of you personally. But when you are paid taxpayers' money to lead, boy, you better lead. You had better lead. Since the quality of leadership that you offer to our people and to me has a lot to do with my well-being and the future of my country. All I'm asking you all to do is to lead with strength. Lead from the front. And tonight, make a statement. Tonight, make a statement that will put Linden back on the map of being the cradle of the rebellion. Make a statement. We need cycling velodrome. Linden produced Joel and Joseph. Y'all don't get me started, man. You got a welcome to Linden sign, the heart of Region 10. We have got, what's his name? What the young man name? Archibald. Archibald just set another national record. Archibald was winning in so many areas. And you have no, the people in young people don't know who Archibald is. My son doesn't know what Emmanuel Archibald is. Put a sign right there at the entrance of Linden. Let us show the youth who come into this town who Lindeners are. We have a world record holder in Joel and Joseph. Do you all know that? I'm not talking yesterday record. At this moment, a cyclist named Joel and Joseph holds our world record for sprinting on a bike. And we have no velodrome, no cycling track, and we have oil money. In the UK, in the US, in Trinidad, right here, right across here, Trinidad has got a cycling track. What are you doing about sports? The young fellow from Omari, who's not playing for Chicago Fire. What are you doing? Collie Herc is among the first to play professionally for Guyana in Trinidad. Where's his picture? Do we know him? Or what it is, one Guyana and flag? What are y'all doing about our own people? This grieves me. This grieves me to my core. Where are the sports facilities in our communities? Linden has dominated National School Track and Field Championships for over 10 years. What have y'all done for us? Where's the stadium? Where's the cycling track? We have a record, a world record holder. Black face called Joel and Joseph, and he's very, very dark. And that's why you don't see any statue, you don't see any life-size banner. The man set a world record, Joel and Joseph. Marlon Fishy Williams, Fishy, was a youth when he won the Caribbean Championship. Among the first to ever do it in our country. Cycling. Lyndon, where is the picture fishy? But you want cyclists to see Neil Kamara the piece, and I'll leave it in separate broadcast. Because not just what you want to do. Yeah, do what is right. We have enough land in Linden for you to build a 5-mile cycling outer track. Where people could go anywhere you want to race, come, you can train the national team. Then you have a cycling velodrome. You can have a football stadium. You can have cricket stadium. You can have lawn tennis. You can have swimming. You can have all of that. A big sporting village you're building in Linden. Let me give you some vision, Ali. Linden would have, because the road to Brazil is right there, you build a sports village. We bring coaches from Brazil. We bring teams from Brazil to play against us in football, and you develop in that manner. No, what is that's selling? You want to see along the highway? Sawmill. Harry and Son, Jerry and Son, Lal Gobal and Son, Sigobin and Son, Jai Paul and Son, Hobolam and Son, everybody, sawmill. That's what we're known for. Cut all the trees down, and many clear the land, give it to pre let build farm. What are y'all doing? What are you doing for our people? Huh? We need a cycling velodrome, a bank track, to produce track cyclists. I know what will happen in this country if it happens, because we have the skill. What we don't have is the facility. But the PDP would dig gutter, cut grass, and build roads in their communities, and leave you all by yourself. I thank you for your time. I appreciate the time spent with you all here today. And I hope that those from the PDP will join me in calling for the cycling velodrome to be built, the 5-mile cycling track to be built, so we could keep the national road races and stuff right there. We have to go on the road and bother people on the highway. The football stadium will be built, cricket stadium will be built, away from the heart of our town. We have a sports village where we train people for the Olympics like they do in China and Russia. That's what we want again. Take them out to the city, take them to the sports village, and they have a high-tech village for sports. Boxing, everything. You go there and you become a world-class sportsman. Let us do what we can to rescue a town that needs to be rescued. Together, we can make it happen. Not under weak leadership. You'll hear more from me. You'll hear a lot more from me, because the people's movement would have been asked, and we shall, as you requested, we shall lend ourselves the next general election to represent to the highest level. It is your choice, and we'll talk.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.